Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly video game podcast from Co-op 64. Today, we are doing the video game controller tier list. S to F, we're going to figure out where all the controllers fall from NES onwards because we're youngins and that's where we're not going before that.
Connor, I've got some takes today,
Yeah, I
baby.
know, this is
I'm
gonna
going to
be
be coming out swinging. Oh my gosh. Golly, son.
Alrighty, Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing well. This is a fun one. This is the first time that we shot on a Saturday in months.
Yeah.
Many months at this point. We also shot on Wednesday this week. So this is the third podcast we're doing in less than 7 days. That is pretty wild to think about. But I'm excited. It's a great time in the industry. We're having a lot of fun. Astrobot just came out. People are enjoying the Space Marine 2 right now, having a great time with that one. BO6 beta, more discussion on that.
We got
I'm excited
Zelda
to play more of that.
coming out.
Zelda's coming up.
We got the Plucky Squire coming out. So many games, dog.
I am on my video game vacation though right now.
Man.
Technically speaking, I'm playing stuff every single night. I'm still playing stuff, but I'm on my not review. Just legitimately, I'm only playing what I want. I'm coming off of Star Wars Outlaws, where this was the first time in company history where I was like, oh, this is work. Like, this is not, I'm not just all the time having extreme amounts of fun, and I don't want to be doing this right now, but I have to do it for review. That's a tough spot to be in, but I love doing it, and I love doing it for y'all. Now it's just like, all right, where's my Valorant? Where's Among Us with the community? I plan on playing some Black Ops tonight. I plan on hopping back into some other story games in my backlog and stuff like that. And then if the timing works out, Zelda, I would love to get to it this year, just because I will play all the games of the year noms to some extent, and I do think Zelda will get nominated. So I'd rather do that now compared to the week before December and have to do a stream that Wednesday before the Game Awards and stay up till 4 a.m.
I'm towards the very end of Symphony of the Night. And it's one of those situations where I just I've taken such a long break that coming back to it feels weird. And it's like, okay, like let me get into the groove. I played like another hour a couple nights ago. I'm getting to the end. So I need to just push through. And then from there, it's like, I got some ideas. I kind of want to play Mass Effect 3 really badly.
What?
Because I didn't finish it when I did that playthrough. It's just calling to me. It's just calling to me.
Sometimes you gotta go with that. And then we have a fun one with you coming up and playing Sonic 2 in like a week.
Sonic Adventure 1. Yeah.
Sonic Adventure 1. Man, I was just completely off. Sonic Adventure 1 in a bit, like in a couple weeks. For streams, and then you're coming off The Last of Us. So I feel like Mass Effect is different enough from both those that it makes sense. And it's very different than Symphony Night and Astrobot and Blacksmith.
We also have the Video Game Club in our Discord. If you want to join that, there's a monthly game that everybody's playing kind of at the same time, discussing, hanging out, talking. And of course, Kingdom Hearts 1 won it. Of all the fucking games in the world, the one that I've played the most of anything, it's like, I don't know if I want to replay this right now at all. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do it.
For me, coming off of KH2 and then it only being a year since we started streaming, and that's such a interesting place to be of, I don't want to play something I watched an extended 2+ months of streaming for Kingdom Hearts 1 when we were doing that. I'm all set. I'm all right for now.
It's a magical game. I love that people are enjoying it for the most part. Some people are playing it and like doing like completionist runs and like doing everything and then getting burnt out by the end. I'm like, guys, just enjoy the vibes of Kingdom Hearts. That's all you need. All you need is friendship. We don't need to go fight the big secret bosses.
Gotta shout out Ryan in the chat. Mass Effect 3 is calling to you, Connor, because I'm whispering it under your bed.
Every night. He's like indoctrinating me. The indoctrination theory. All right. Do you want to get housekeeping? We stream Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. We are starting Celeste, me, Brady, and Nick on the sticks every Monday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, Nick is... how close are you to the end of Wind Waker?
I have about half a temple, I think, left. I don't know where I'm at with this temple. I'm definitely towards the end of it left. And then I have one more full temple, and then I think it's the final fight. So I probably have all next week and Tuesday, I'd assume.
Okay. What's after that?
After that is Mass Effect 1.
Nice. Right on.
Holy shit, dude. It's finally happening.
Yeah.
This is one of those big ones.
I can bet you dollars to donut everything in my bank account, you are not going to like Mass Effect 1. Knowing you.
Yeah, but then Mass Effect 2.
But then Mass Effect 2 you'll love.
Yeah, see, that's the hard part of where we're heading direction-wise of this is a longer game, and it's not a guarantee. Where, like, I feel like a lot of the games that I play on stream are guarantee bangers for myself, or even if they're not guarantees, they're shorter, so I can get out of it fast enough and like move on. The Mass Effect 1 I'm nervous about. I have not heard any person be like, Mass Effect 1 is the fucking shit. Like, it's awesome. Tasty.
It's his favorite game of all time.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Mass Effect 1?
Yep.
Over 2?
Yeah.
No, that's wild. I've never heard that
People really
before.
like the RPG mechanics of 1. And, like, as somebody who loves RPGs, I think they only get in the way of, like, the enjoyment of the game. But... So those are happening. Then we have my stream on Wednesdays, The Last of Us Grounded Mode. We're over halfway through at this point, I would say. We're deep into fall.
Yeah, you probably have 2 streams left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Less?
No more.
Really?
I'm on the college campus.
I know. You got winter. Here's the thing, and I'm not trying to give you shit. You've slowed down quite a bit.
Well, it really depends on how hard it gets harder.
Yeah, I know. I understand, but I'm
on
saying
the hardest difficulty.
You were cruising at a pace that I didn't think was like possible on grounded mode, and then
last stream I cruised still.
Really?
Yeah. I died quite a bit during the sniper section. But like nothing like I would say that was overly crazy. Okay. And then I died a few times. Yeah, no, I think I did fine last stream. Yeah. I think I paced myself pretty well last stream, I'm going to be honest. So yeah, we have those streams. Then Nick is doing a special weekend long, or it was just Friday and Saturday.
So it was just Friday and Saturday. Unless I need to take the day on Sunday. I'm going to play probably on Saturday from 10 till like 11 p.m.
Yeah, so Nick is playing Metal Gear Solid 4 in one weekend, starting on Friday, and then all throughout Saturday. Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, full playthrough.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Highly requested to go and continue this series after playing so much Metal Gear earlier this year. And words cannot describe how much I'm itching for it after Snake Eater. Snake Eater, I want to clarify. I think I've like discussed a lot of games throughout this channel, and playing so many bangers this year, it comes up pretty often of like, oh, like that's a really high scored game. But what really hits home for me, Snake Eater is my top 10 favorite games ever. Like Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 are both terrific video games. Snake Eater for me is like unbelievable. It just hit.
What a thrill.
What a thrill.
You know what I'm saying?
And so I'm so excited to continue after that, where I felt like I finished Metal Gear Solid 2 and I was like, okay, like this unbelievable ending. I'm really excited to hop into 3. I finished 3 and I was like, not only do I officially completely understand the Kojima love and everything, but like, this is the best. This is the go.
He won't play Death Stranding. But he won't play Death Stranding, though.
Connor,
and then he's going to just jump right into Death Stranding, too. I can't allow this. As the older brother, I feel like I'm leading you down the bad path.
I'm the eldest boy. Okay. No, but like in all actuality, I'll play Death Stranding 2 if this community for so...
Death Stranding 1.
Or Death Stranding 1. I'll do Death Stranding 1, but it's
great. You would like it.
Here's my issue with it.
You just don't know you would like it.
I want to play a game like that, one of those that I am unsure about and I don't really want to do. I would want to do it as either a subathon or a one weekend thing where it's like compact. I don't want to.
You can't do that in one weekend.
How long is the game?
40 hours.
Yeah, just load me up on Friday night. Let's go for 10 hours Friday, 20 hours Saturday, and 10 hours Sunday.
20 hours. I don't think I could sit and play a game for 20 hours, Connor, even if I was having the time of my life.
Connor, I cook, dude, when it comes to... That couch is so uncomfortable for the amount that I've been on it this year. It is insane. Though sleeping on that couch for Elden Ring was one of the worst experiences of my life. I love a good couch nap. Like Saturday, Sundays, are you kidding me? Love sleeping on the couch in college and when I was a kid. Not on that bad boy. I get to my bed every single time because I can't handle it.
The Ohio Retro Gaming Convention, November 2nd. We have a panel, 11:30 to 12. We're going to guess your top 10 video games of all time according to the Co-op 64 Discord community. We will do another one of these lists at some point for the TikTok. This is exclusive to the Discord and the people coming out. So it'll be personalized towards you guys. Yeah. So we will be guessing that. And then there's also a meet and greet that night.
I got a fun one for you. It's official. Nathan, my good buddy Nathan Arnold, one of my closest confidants and friends, driving down from Chicago, hanging out with all of us for the day.
Stoked.
Gonna be awesome. Here's what I was considering, Connor. Co-op 64 day. Just like we don't have a lot of guests coming in. We sort of know what that day is. I thought about you never meeting Nathan before that day. Literally having him drive down and just, if we're doing anything that's competition between you, me, or Brady, having him just stand behind me and being my hype man just for hours on end, just to annoy the fuck out of you and Brady. And you're like, this is a stranger. I've never met this man before. You would do that, though. I totally would. And here's the thing. He totally would also, but you will meet him before then. So the idea is shammed at this point. It's not good enough.
Alrighty. We have the Discord and merch, a link in the bio on our TikTok page where you're probably coming from anyways. Discord community, over 1,600 members currently. Dude, it's been popping off lately with the most interesting conversations. Loving it. Love people just kind of going back and forth talking about video games in a really interesting, fun, respectful way. Like everybody's very like disagrees, but we all like come out feeling like we're all good and dandy at the end, which is what is most important in my opinion. And then also people making friends. We got Spa Night, which is tonight, which is where a bunch of the Discord community members run by Sav and Sarah, I believe. They run that, and you play some games. You put on a moisturizing face mask, and you hang out and maybe drink some prosecco or something.
Yeah, and then tomorrow is motherfucking Advent Children in the Discord, which the good times just keep rolling in the Discord. The best part about this community is I feel like when we don't have weekend content, that it's always just like, what's happening? Is the community having fun still? I'm in the Discord more on the weekends we don't do content, just because I feel less, not just burnt out, but I have a little bit more energy because I'm not on camera that much. And this week we did have those streams yesterday and everything, and that was a bunch of fun. Those streams were the definition of this one's for us. All right, we just had a blast playing All Stars in Factions
for the boys.
Yeah. But it's awesome to see that this community has made it so we are in a spot where from Monday this past week all the way through Sunday next week, so through Saturday, there will be content and things to do with Co-op 64 every single day. And that's fucking awesome.
And here's the thing, though. We're talking about Saturday, Sunday. By the time you're listening to this, if you're watching this on Monday, that's already done. But I just want to point those out just to be like, people do stuff like that in the Discord community every month. So if you want to join, come hang out, make some friends. There you go. There's that. Yeah. Merch, co-op64store.com.
co-op64store.com.
I nailed it.
Yeah.
I just sounded confused when I said it.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to say it with some confidence.
And then there's also a link in the bio. If you would like to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, it gets this out there, gets it in front of more people. It would really help us out.
I saw it this morning because you sent me over some stats, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Around like 30% listen on Apple Podcasts compared to Spotify, which I thought it was way more Spotify.
It's one of those situations where like you think you know the way the world works.
Yeah.
Like you think that everybody's using Google Maps like a normal person, and then you're told by Nick and Brady that they use Apple Maps. Are you out? Are you 500 years old? What are we doing here? That Apple Maps sucks. It is so bad, and it flabbergasts me that Brady and Nick are trying to gaslight me into saying that it's good. It's not good.
I think that the most important part about Apple Maps is that's how I understand directions. Like that's how my eyes work and know what to look for on Apple Maps. So when you give me Google Maps and just say it's better, I'm like, I don't know if it's better or worse, but it's just different, and I don't want different. Also, I need to shout it out because of the Discord. We were playing Among Us a couple nights ago, and there is just everyone's talking. Everyone's like trying to figure out who the imposter is. Sheepy Sleeping doesn't get a moment to say anything yet to make a case, but nobody's like tossing sauce on them. But I'm like, okay, everyone's sort of like clearing everyone. Sheepy Sleeping hasn't said anything. I'm just gonna toss a vote their way. And then Allie also tossed a vote their way, and there was 3 total votes. Because we were all just talking so much, and she didn't say a word and just got booted. And I've never felt so bad in my life. She's like, I didn't say anything. I'm just like, it felt odd. And then, surely enough, she was not an imposter and felt bad all night. It was a tough one.
Here's the thing. So Laura and I, my wife,
wife.
Humble brag.
Wait, you got a wife? What's up,
crazy.
Dude?
Together for 10 years as of last week, as of September 1st. Crazy. But we did long distance in college. So like I was driving 3.5 hours to go visit her. and I had Google Maps, I had Apple Maps, and I had Waze. If you put the directions into each of those, it will tell you the longest route on Apple every single time. It'll always be the longest route.
Okay.
Like, it's bad.
That is true.
I have my evidence, is what I'm saying. I have the comparison. Waze is a little too cluttered for me. And oftentimes it'll lie to you. It'll give you a time making you feel good about yourself, being like, this is when you're going to get there. Like, oh, that's great.
Yep.
And then you end up getting there like when Google Maps actually told you were going to get there. You know what I mean? So no, that's how I feel about it. Oh, you want to get into the actual, this is the longest we've ever gone in an intro to a live podcast.
Yeah, I'm fine with the live podcast. This is one of those that we sort of found our stretch of just greatness. I understand it.
Just brag on yourself. Jesus.
No, like in all actuality, Connor and I have left the last few podcasts. I would say for the past like 10 podcasts, we've been like, yeah, this has been awesome.
That was good
great
stuff.
Energy. And so I don't want to like go and change that energy just because we're doing it live.
Well, you got an Apple Maps conversation, so is it really that different?
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. That Foxhound shirt is rad. Mixed Wagons, I want one of those real badly. I do.
Redbubble. I don't like supporting Redbubble because it's literally just somebody taking an image and just throwing it on a shirt and just selling it. But like, you can't find good video game shirts.
I need to get in Greg Miller's DMs. Okay, I need to go and send a DM to this man and get the Foxhound Portillo merch back in that store because I will buy the fuck out of that now that I love Metal Gear in the way that I do, and I obviously love Kind of Funny.
I want more video game developer shirts. I think that's where I'm going next. An Atlas shirt. A Naughty Dog shirt.
I want
Capcom.
a Remedy shirt.
Ooh,
give me a Remedy shirt.
That's a great shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
it's almost like a band shirt where it's like, I don't want Nirvana, aka Naughty Dog, okay? I want fucking a deeper cut than that. All right, give me Remedy. And then you go into a concert somewhere, aka a video game convention in this analogy, and they're like, Remedy? You're like, fuck yeah, dude.
There we go. All right, let's get into it. Are we standing? Ready?
Let's stand.
Those grippers are just out.
I'm in my own home.
I don't get it.
I'm in my own home. This is the one thing that Connor and I will always disagree on.
Socks on in the house.
Not socks on. I was going to say, you take your bottom off.
It's too heavy. I'm too weak.
Connor, I got to get my gains in during this pod, all right?
I'm too weak. I'm a little lad.
I take my whiskey.
Oh, there's a copyright strike.
Oh. Shrofo Show. What's happening?
Shrofo Show with the follow.
Thanks so much for the follow. Ho, ho, ho.
Okie doke. Artichoke.
Help you at the Renfest before they actually start the tier list. That's true, Ali. We'll try to make sure that we're
Yank me, chief.
prank them, John.
Okay. Starting off, the video game console controller tier list. The NES. The oldest of OGs. This little square lad. How do we feel about the NES controller?
It's very, very, very basic. I like how basic it is.
Yes.
With that being said, the whole discussion of this is we can't just toss things willy-nilly in A, B, S tier. I think it's a C tier controller.
Here's what I'll say. Simplicity does go a long way for controller. Like, it's efficient. 2 buttons, a D-pad.
Yep.
Start, select. That's it. But that's all you need.
Yeah.
And that's what they pulled off with that controller on the NES, with how much variety there is on the NES. Crazy.
Yeah.
Really good shit. So,
it's
the only issue is that in future consoles, I think it gets better with simplicity and ergonomics. The ergonomics of the NES controller, bad.
Suck.
Square, if you're holding it tight, you have to like kind of hold it like it's like a little dainty little thing. Like it's just like you're barely holding on to it, like the edges. So I would argue B tier, but I'm comfortable putting it in C tier.
Let's do C.
Okay.
No, that's B.
Oh, sorry, my bad. It's early.
You were going for it. And I thought that you were like trying to prank me, just like tossing B.
It's early in the morning. Okay?
It is. 10 a.m.
So we have NES and C tier to start off. Next, we are going the SNES controller. I want to hear what you have to say about that.
The SNES.
No.
Good controller. Good. I don't think that it's great. I think it gets a job done. I'm also going C tier.
I'm going, boom, S tier. I think it is the perfect, simple controller. If we're going to go with like the like ergonomic aspect, perfection. When we're going with utilizing what it's got going on there to its highest degree. Perfect. SNES controller. Like it's the best. Like what else would you go with something that doesn't have analog sticks? Where else are you going other than the SNES controller?
But it doesn't have analog sticks.
But that's the thing is it pulls it doesn't need them. It's great.
I want a controller to feel good, to be able to do every job, and like also it's small. It's too small. Like I want it to be a little bit bigger.
It takes all the problems that the NES has that we just said, and it fixes all of them.
Connor, I need a little bigger something in my hands. All right.
I'm not going any lower than A tier.
Okay, so we'll vote between A and B.
A and B, fine.
Yep.
We need to vote. Chat, SNES, A or B tier. How are we feeling?
Yeah.
Wait, is Connor taller than Nick? Yes.
No,
by
he's
like 2 or
not.
3
he
inches.
is too far in the camera. He's a little bit stepped up. That is the depth perception.
Look how tall I am.
Exactly.
I'm so much taller than Nick.
A controller needs analogs, in my opinion. It doesn't need it. Can we get a
poll going, please? Allie.
I'll take my poll lead. SNES, put it in B. Please go B.
Do you need to do it, like?
Is it?
We're having issues with the poll, it seems. It's all good.
Oh, I can do it then.
I'm just gonna harp on the same fact that like I just think that it's perfection. There's nothing to point to that I feel takes away from the SNES controller, especially for the time. Like picking it up today still feels amazing. I played my SNES all the time. Donkey Kong Country 2? Are you kidding me? Super Mario World rather. Then you have stuff like classic Metroidvania, Super Metroid. Come on. Castlevania 4. Come on. Then you have Mario Kart. Super Mario Kart. Feels great. Feels amazing. I love this controller. If some people would argue that the NES is S tier, that it's perfect, that they nailed it on the first go. And if you say that, then you look at the SNES, like there's clear improvement there, and that's where I think when it comes to simple controllers, the simplicity of the controller, it's S tier.
But you're calling it simple. You're calling it less than.
It's elegant. No, simple doesn't mean less than. Simple can be perfect. Like
that's true. Like Tetris.
Yeah, exactly. That's where
are portable systems included on this list? No, Ethan, they're not. That was a decision we made.
There's no real way to do that.
Polls up 50-50 right now. Oh, the B's came back, by the way. It was 3-0.
It's going back and forth. People, come on.
It's going to come down to one vote, most likely, it looks like.
Yep. Guys, you got to make a decision. Get your votes in.
We need to vote. We need somebody to vote.
Fuck.
Vote. Boom.
No.
Boom.
No.
Pursue greatness, everyone.
Oh, my goodness.
SNES is going to B tier.
Jesus.
Put it on the board. Oh, it ended up being a blowout.
Okay. Genesis. If we're putting SNES in B tier, I feel like we almost need to put Genesis in B tier because I think they're very similar in a lot of ways. I almost think the ergonomics of the Genesis controller might be a little bit better. I just think that the SNES just controls better, in my opinion.
Here's the thing. When I think about the SNES, I think about the way it controls for the games that the SNES have. Mm-hmm. And like that is a factor for me in this.
It just has a good library.
I know it has a good, but it doesn't have the SNES library.
Yeah.
I would put in C tier.
That's fine. I can live with that. I don't really want to argue about crappy
controllers,
crappy fucking Sega controllers. Yeah.
The best part of this is like there will be the battles. We just haven't had the battles yet. But I did get SNES 2 tiers down from where you had it, which is I think the largest tier break that we've ever had.
PlayStation 1, we're doing with the analog sticks, not the original.
Yep.
Okay. This is where it gets difficult. Because is the PS1 the worst PlayStation controller? No. The second worst. But it's still great. That's the problem. I'm
a fan of putting the PS1 in the B tier.
I can live with that. Yeah, that's fine.
I think that every other controller is going to go somewhere up here or B. There's the other ones that I think are on the level of PS1 for the PlayStation.
And 64.
I want to make this very clear before we get into it. I have a lot of nostalgia for the N64 controller.
On me, generally speaking.
Like picking it up. I like playing the games
You like
on it.
picking it up.
Yeah, it's a Trident.
You aren't offended by picking it up?
No.
I'm offended the second I pick that thing up.
What the fuck is this?
Watching somebody who's never picked up the N64 controller is hilarious because they don't know where to put their hands. Because why the fuck would you know? Like, I think Laura grabbed it from the other side and was like just reaching over to like the middle and like trying to like hit it or whatever. We're
good. With that being said, I don't think it's F tier. I'm going D tier with this one.
Well, what's F tier? Is there going to be anything in the F tier?
I don't know.
Oh, I have something that's in the F tier.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're good. N64 is going in the D tier.
Not saying it's a good controller. I'm just saying I like that. Once again, it works in the library very well.
Playing like Mario
Mario
Party?
64 feels solid with it. Like
I played all of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time last year, and I got used to it. Like I was like, fine with it. Yeah,
that's my whole thing with it.
I got Stockholm syndrome with it. I was like, do I like this?
Yeah.
Like, do I go like
no,
the controller?
the amount I played on the N64 makes it natural, and I understand that. But my natural experience is honestly like a C or a B tier experience, but it's still a busted ass controller, so that's why it's D tier.
Saturn. I would go C tier as well. It's like the same as the Genesis with more buttons.
See, this is a tier list that I am trying to devise, actually getting the bell curve proper.
Yeah. We need
I want the C and the B to actually have the most.
Okay. PS2 controller. How are we feeling about that?
I like the PS2 controller quite a bit.
It's just not the best PlayStation controller.
It's not.
But it is similar to the SNES where it's like, it's simple in nature. It felt good in our hands. Like, you knew what you were getting right when you picked it up. But it is the PS1 controller. It really is.
Yeah.
Like,
when we were doing What's in the Box, I was really hoping you would not give me the PS1 controller or the PS2 controller because I could not legitimately tell the difference.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm going B tier.
I'm also going B tier. Yeah. I think that's fair. I know that we all have nostalgia for the PS2. It has nothing to do with the library or the console itself. It's just a good controller. You know what I mean? As deeper we go in, the better we're gonna get. Honestly.
That's
don't even. Right when I said it, like, Jesus Christ, Nick. Oh my God. Dreamcast. This controller kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I really don't like the Dreamcast controller.
I don't like it either.
I would argue that it's in D tier.
I was gonna get crazy with it.
But in the F? No, it's not F tier. It's definitely not F tier.
I think it's almost offensive.
No, yeah, it's not great. Like it has like cool features. Like you can plug in like the memory card into the controller and like that's.
But I don't like picking it up. I feel so
playing Shenmue with it like
nasty.
It's like this is not good. I don't like it very much.
That's the thing. It's an ass controller. I think it's one of the worst and most offensive controllers I can pick up.
I would be comfortable putting in D then. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
We've been pretty agreeable so far.
Yeah. This is nice. We're just having a nice Saturday morning talking about some controllers, bro.
Okay. Dreamcast controller. Then we go to the Xbox. The Duke.
The Duke.
Would we consider the Duke or like the redesign, the original Xbox?
I would consider the Duke.
Okay.
That's the Duke's not good.
It's too big.
Yeah, it's a big boy.
Yeah.
I'm between here.
I think D tier, honestly.
We put the Duke in D tier?
What? These are better controllers.
Yeah, they are better controllers. Like, I'm down to toss it in D tier. I like this. I like what we have going on here. Very demure.
Very mindful.
Very mindful.
Now we get into... But now we're going high, baby. Not Dreamcast. GameCube. S tier. It's my favorite controller. It's so good. I love it.
B tier.
No. You're just saying that
as good as the SNES,
you're
PS1,
just saying
and PS2.
that to get an A.
No, not.
Put it to a poll. SAB. Is that fair?
No.
Yes.
When we did, I think it is as good as all these controllers.
It's S tier though, in my opinion.
When was the last time you played with the GameCube not playing Smash? I had to go and play
I played Pikmin literally 2 weeks ago.
I know
and it's excellent.
No,
it's so good.
Utilizing that, playing Twilight Princess, the C-Stick to go and look around, it's not fun. It doesn't work well.
You don't need... It's not necessarily
that is not as good of a controller as any later gen Xbox controller is not as good as any later gen PlayStation controller. It's not.
for RE4.
It's not as good as the fucking Switch Pro
controller. It has
controller.
one stick and it plays better than the original.
There's like 8 better controllers, dude.
We got to get a poll going.
You just put it in A.
No, I'm not doing this.
It's as good as all the
I'm
ones
not
in B.
doing this. I'm not doing this.
So I have a question for you. What if there is 7 votes here, 6 votes here, 5 votes here? That's 12 votes not putting it in S, but that is S tier. That's not how that should work.
It should just go with whatever wins.
No, it should just go with when we disagree, we put in the middle.
No, I hate that.
That is literally what we do.
It's an S tier controller.
Well, poll is up, so
yeah, I guess we'll put it in A tier, but I want to see what the people say.
Yeah. We're putting it in A, even though there's 67% in S. You already put it on the board, though. Put it on the board.
No, there's nobody even voting for A. There's not a single person voting for A.
I don't think it is as good as all these controllers.
No, it is not. The GameCube is 10 times better than the SNES controller, and it's better than all of these by like a wide margin. What do you mean?
It's not, and now it's close. So don't worry about it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
But I'm putting it away. It's going in A tier. That is what we do on these podcasts. When we disagree, we compromise.
Okay. PS3 controller. Here's what I'll say about the PS controller. It's not bad. It's the worst PlayStation controller.
I agree.
But it's not N64 level.
No.
Not even close.
I'm between here, but it's definitely worse than these guys, so I'm okay with putting it here.
Yeah, C tier's fine. Yeah.
By the way, B is winning. So.
Great.
Because it's as good as all these controllers and people know it in their hearts.
Okay. I'm just gonna lose today, I guess. It's fine. Let's go with
Connor. We're gonna get to Joy-Cons, and I'm gonna get so roasted.
Your like reasoning for liking the Joy-Cons, throw them completely out the window. They make no sense to me. Who is playing
Connor,
games
we'll
like
get there.
this?
We'll get there.
Spread Eagle. Like, how is he doing?
It's me. I'm Spread Eagle. We'll get there.
Okay, what was the
B1?
B was 53%. Jesus Christ.
So, are you happy with A now?
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah.
I can live with that. Well, if you take away... Is there any votes for A?
I don't know.
Yeah, because if you take out the A votes and put them in S tier, then...
I don't think there's any votes for A, by the way. Oh, shit.
It's cool. Whatever. We're moving on to the Xbox 360. Here's the thing about the Xbox 360 controller. It's excellent. The Xbox One and the Xbox Series X controllers are better in like every way.
I completely agree.
But so I can't in good faith put it. I know like
people want an S. If I asked a person on the street,
I could do A. I can live with
that's
A.
my thing. If I asked somebody on the street what rank is the Xbox 360 controller, a lot of people would say S.
Yeah.
It's not. Because they're just legitimately better controllers made by the same developer. Like you can go and just be like, one for one, you know the move that they made and that move is better. So you can't put it in S tier.
Well,
A tier, I'm okay with I was okay with B tier, by the way.
No, it's not B tier. It's not.
I understand. Yeah, it is better than all those controllers.
It's not better than the GameCube controller, but
I think it is.
Here we are. But here
I would much rather pick
here we
up
are.
I would much rather pick up a 360 controller than a GameCube controller any day of the fucking week.
It's wild to me. That makes no sense in my head. The Wii remote. Really good. For like no reason.
Yeah.
But like it's not on this level. It's not A tier.
It's B tier.
It's B tier, yeah.
I love it. I love the Wii remote. All these controllers, B tier and up, I'm like, they feel great. They do the job that they're supposed to do. I like holding them.
Wii remote's better than all of these
by a country mile.
Sure. And when it comes to the motion control aspects of it, it functions, it works great in my opinion for what it's going for. And then like when you have to use like a nunchuck and all that, like it still feels good.
The Wii remote's great till it hits your TV. That's why they give you the strap.
Okay, never mind.
Yep, I like
no.
I like it.
No.
I like the Wii remote.
PS4 controller. This is my favorite PlayStation controller, personally.
It's my second.
It's behind the DualSense, yeah. Which seems to be the sentiment for everybody. So I would put it in S tier. Personally.
This is a bold take. DualSense and PS5 controllers, I think are both A tier. I don't think that PlayStation has an S tier controller.
Okay, we're going to agree on DualSense.
Yeah, it's an A tier.
I think the PS4 controller is S tier. Put it to a poll.
Okay, yeah,
S
that's
and A.
fine.
All right. PS4 controller.
Wait, yeah.
S and A. S for me. A for Nick.
We'll get to the PS5 when we actually get to that one.
Yeah.
But
we only have a few more.
PS4.
This goes fast. There's not that many controllers when you're like just narrowing it down.
You're too sweet. Well, they're doing that. Can we go to the next one?
The Xbox One.
This is where, in my opinion, we're talking perfection. Like, I've never not wanted to pick up an Xbox One controller and play video games. The best part of the Xbox is the controller, period. There's no, like, things that actually work. And honestly, as somebody that for a very long time disliked mouse and keyboard, I was always excited to plug an Xbox One controller into my PC to play things like Halo and stuff like that.
Feels great on the PC. It's the default controller for PC. It's also the default controller, obviously, for the Xbox One. I'm just gonna put Series X up here. I know there's like minute differences, but I feel like having 2 slots for them, like this is just one thing.
Yeah, the Series. So then to also go in further, then the Series X controller is just sleek, perfect. It's sex on a controller.
It's
it is
the same thing.
Awesome.
Though.
I know it is, but honestly, it's that no silver button where it can be all black and everything. That, like, I love that aspect of it. Yeah.
All right. PS4 controller still going. Okay, we're fine. Wii U. This is easy. This is F tier. The gamepad is F tier.
The gamepad is F tier. Okay. I agree. All right. The gamepad is disgusting in my opinion.
Have you been using the gamepad the entire time?
Yep. It's
I can get you a pro controller.
Abomination. Like you going and having to utilize the map on the gamepad and like look up and look down, it completely ruins what I want from a console experience. And that is taking this thing that I'm enjoying and having a nice time with and just ruining it.
It's 50-50 for the PS4. If you would like to vote, please vote.
It is insane how much how good Wind Waker is that I'm not even caring about the gamepad sucking.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, like, I think it has cool ideas. Obviously, that's how we get the Switch.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, this was the first draft. But, like, the fact that they set this out like this, it's like, geez, Louise.
There was somebody that you got to question being like, were they smoking weed? Like, were they on some Zaza?
God damn it, guys. Do not let... Oh, that's A tier. Damn it, dude.
Recognize them. I think it's an A tier.
Me too.
You just said me too?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I meant for the next one because we have the PS5 and that's also A tier.
Yes.
I don't think there's a S tier PlayStation controller other than the PS4. I'm not going to get my.
I don't think that there's an S tier PlayStation controller in general. The DualSense feels amazing. Astrobot legitimately, like that can make it S tier. Astrobot alone with Playroom and Astrobot proper is so fucking good with like the way that the tension on the controller works, the rumble works, like the way that it almost works in a 3D space of feeling the left and right side. It's unbelievable what they're able to do with the DualSense. I can't believe it.
It's cool tech. It's just like I don't like how big it is. I think it's like it's like almost the size of it's closer to the Duke than it is like the PS2
I will
controller.
say it is interesting because I don't care that much about trophies. I still use my PS5 for third party more just because I would rather that than my Series X, because even though I like the Series X controller more and I like the interface and there's other aspects, but more importantly, the controller is so close to the Series X in my opinion that it's like, okay, it's in a conversation. It's not like insane to not have the DualSense in A tier or S tier.
So then we have
the battery life is abysmal. We haven't talked about that for any of these. The battery life of the DualSense can be rough.
Yeah, it definitely is bad. I feel like the battery life on just about any of these other ones though isn't really too bad, except for the Wii U gamepad.
The Wii U gamepad battery blows. I've charged this thing for hours on that, and it goes
screen.
For an hour.
It's got a screen going on.
I know, but it goes
a PS5
for
screen,
an hour
like
and 20 minutes. But like Switch's battery has a decent battery.
No, it does not. It's like 2 hours, 3 hours.
This is like an hour. That's insane.
It might just be cooked because it's old.
That's true.
Yeah. So we can't really judge on that. Alrighty. We are moving on to the Switch Joy-Cons.
Okay.
These are a D tier controller, in my opinion. They're dainty. They do not feel like something that they feel like they're gonna get crushed in my hands. The buttons are horribly small. You put it in the grip, it's a little bit better, but like, are you looking at S tier? It's not S tier, Nick. We're not doing this.
You're correct. The Joy-Cons are not S tier. They are A tier.
No.
Connor,
they're D
let
tier.
me break it down for you. Let me just break it down for you.
I would rather use literally any of these.
I understand. I need to make my case.
Yeah, let's hear the case.
There's
Nick.
two.
You've already
There's
made
two
the case before.
examples that I need to bring up. Let's just say you went out on the night on the town. You went dancing. You went to a bar. You had a great night with a lady. And all of a sudden, what do you want to do but pull open that switch, go toss the dock on, and go and have it up on your plasma screen, sit back on the couch. She's reading a book. She's not scrolling on her phone. And what are you able to do? Count some shoulders, Connor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what is happening? I have a controller over here and over here. It's perfect for that. And then
that sounds like the most uncomfortable gaming experience I've ever heard in my entire
delightful.
life.
That's how I played all of Tears of the Kingdom, was with an arm around my partner, and it was delightful.
That's wild.
And then, now that I'm a single lonely person, example number 2 is, Connor, I'm in my Red Sox robe, nothing but undies in a robe, and it is a Saturday morning.
Image.
Disturbing image. It is a Saturday morning. I'm all alone. I got a coffee in front of me. There's Mario Odyssey on the screen, and I am spread eagle, baby, on this couch. I have an arm on the rug. I have an arm going to the sky. It makes no sense, but it's so comfortable. I am able to go and put my hands wherever they need to go that makes my body comfortable. It's awesome. I love the Joy-Cons. Also, the fact that they are legitimately 2 controllers and are able to be, hey, you want to play a game? I want to play a game? Let's play games together. And it's 1 controller turned into 2. That is valuable.
Stick drift.
Stick drift.
Got it.
A lot of controllers have stick drift.
Got it.
A lot of controllers have stick drift.
The only controllers that actually legitimately in the real world that's not a user error is the Joy-Cons.
I understand.
If you have a PS5 stick drift or like a trigger issue or whatever, you are doing something wrong. It is on you who is doing that.
I
don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something there. I've never had stick drift.
My whole thing is I've had stick drift on multiple consoles. That is a fine take to go and say that it's not S tier. That's why it's A tier.
No,
A tier console.
It's D tier. We're too far apart. On
so we're gonna vote between these 2.
Okay, yeah. Throw it to the chat. B or C tier.
I'm just throwing out there though that controller is amazing. It is able to do things that no other controller is able to do. And that is give you the opportunity as the consumer to be comfortable. Every other controller makes you go and play like this. It's the only controller that lets you spread.
Why do you want to play like that?
Connor, I gave you 2 prime examples.
This isn't. I understand you gave me examples, but like this is comfortable.
I
This is
understand.
not comfortable. This comfortable, not comfortable. This comfortable, not comfortable.
See, all these other controllers are for the lonely. Okay, this controller lets you be by your partner, having a great time and snuggle. Okay, Connor is anti-snuggle. The Joy-Cons are pro-snuggle. That's why the Joy-Cons are an amazing controller.
I'm gonna be honest. I am anti-snuggle when I'm playing games.
Oh, really?
Get the fuck away from me. I'm playing my game, dude. Like, I'm in the zone. I don't want to be touched.
If D wins, it's C. If A wins, it's B. Okay. I take my whiskey need.
Wait, is it between D and A right now?
Red, please. It's between D and A. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's gonna get a D.
It probably will. Yeah. A is a wild take. I understand, but did I not make a good case, everyone?
You made a case. Is it good? Who's to say?
I think that the
me.
unique value of it is important. We don't have the PlayStation Move controller up on here, dude. What are we doing?
God, I love the PlayStation Move controller.
The ball?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, so good. I think you're cooked.
No, you did not, Nick. Are you kidding me?
I did
bring up.
Yeah,
that's fine to toss in C. I did bring up my PlayStation robe and my undies on a Saturday morning, so that's probably a good point that it's not the best case.
We got to get some more stuff in the S tier, and this is going in the S tier.
Yes,
the Switch Pro controller.
I agree.
Okay, thank goodness.
Yeah,
thank
Switch Pro controllers in S tier.
Those buttons be big, dude. They're so good. Those are some juicy buttons right there.
Big old buttons.
Oh my god.
Oh, big old buttons. Yes, that is Bounced by Timberland. For those who get that reference.
Is it a shot? We're good. It looks like that's going diagonal for sure.
Oh yeah, the next one's going up here.
And then lastly, this is a controller, I would say, in some capacity. Mouse and keyboard.
Sure.
That's S tier.
No.
Yes, it is.
I would rather play games with any of these more than a mouse and keyboard.
Nick, mouse and keyboard breaks all of these controllers' ability to do first-person shooting. It does. Playing on mouse and keyboard like a shooter, I can't go back. Go play Doom on a fucking controller and then go play Doom on mouse and keyboard. It's like I would give Doom on controller an 8 out of 10. I would give Doom on a mouse and keyboard a 9 out of 10. It's a completely different experience, and it's way better. And flying around and just being able to is so good, dude. No, it's not B tier. It is S tier.
It is not better than any of these experiences.
You're playing the game. I don't want to allow this. I won't allow this. It's B or S, and we're voting on it.
No,
I'm not going A on this.
Connor,
they can decide. They can decide. You can do A or S, but I'm not. You're not.
I think that is worse than all these.
You're not going to force me
Connor,
into A. Because
I think that is worse than all of these controllers.
No, you don't.
Connor, do I not think that is worse than all these controllers? What is my opinion, correct? And do I not think that is worse than all these controllers? 100%. The only thing that I could say that is better than, legitimately, is the GameCube controller. But I think that the GameCube controller is a B tier controller. 360, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series One, X and One, and Switch Pro are all better gaming experiences. Not just for me. I think in general for all platforms.
I would choose mouse and keyboard over every single one of these. If you had to just rid of all of them, depending on the game, of course. I'm not playing Dark Souls on mouse and keyboard.
That means that you would rather use the Xbox Series X.
I'm not playing a shooter on PS5. I'm not.
Okay, but if you were to go and take all video games in its entirety and say you can only use one thing to utilize forever, you would take both these over it for sure. You would take these three over it for sure. I don't know about that one, but you would go and use a PS5 controller for 90% of things that are not shooters.
No, that's not true. For some third-person games, depending on the game, I would rather use it.
You're not playing a racing game on mouse and keyboard.
Yes,
You're not playing a fighting game on mouse and keyboard.
But
you're not playing a lot of games on mouse and keyboard.
So how are we doing this? There's already a vote going. Is it for S and A? Okay.
What are we doing?
I mean,
I think it's a B tier controller. It goes in A.
You're going to get what you want anyways, so it's fine.
I know. I want it in B.
Okay. Well, we'll do M and K here.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Do you want to do the game where we switch things up? But we go over it first?
Sure.
Okay. So bottom to top, F tier is the Wii U. D tier, N64, Dreamcast, Xbox controller.
The Duke.
NES for C tier, Genesis, Saturn, PS3, Joy-Cons. B tier, SNES, PS1, PS2, Wii. A tier, GameCube, 360, PS4, PS5, mouse and keyboard. And in the S tier is the Xbox One and Series X and Switch Pro Controller. I want nobody to tell me that I'm a fucking PlayStation fanboy when we don't have a single PlayStation controller in the S tier. That's what I'll say, okay? That's what I'll say. All right. What are you switching? We each get one switch here. This is the official list.
Yes.
For those who are new, this is the official list. This is what we are going with. But
we do one switch at the end.
We each get one switch.
I have a serious question. PS5 in A tier is atrocious. I've seen a couple of people talk about PS5 being switched. Where would you put it? PS5 should be. Oh, okay, that's fine. They're saying it should go up.
Yeah,
I was like, it can't go down.
If you want to wipe something off there,
I want to make this very clear. I've gotten a lot of things that I want during this.
Yeah.
So I'm not too upset. There's only one thing that I would legitimately be like, this I would prefer to change. But I'm not offended by this list remotely. This is a very good list to me.
Okay.
I would move mouse and keyboard into B tier. That is my switch.
Okay. You're going to do it? Okay. Nick is very inefficiently wiping off mouse and keyboard right now.
And my reasoning with that is I legitimately would rather play with any of these controllers except for the GameCube potentially. But there's a lot of GameCube games that I would rather use a GameCube controller than mouse and keyboard. I understand how good shooting on mouse and keyboard feels. I played a lot of Halo that way. I played a lot of Valorant that way. But for me, I still prefer playing with a controller. I played Halo Infinite all with the mouse and keyboard. And then the moment that my roommate like left his controller down there while he went back up to Tennessee, I plugged it back in and I felt better playing with
Halo
that.
is designed for controller, but I also still prefer it on. Same with Call of Duty. Call of Duty is meant for a controller, but I'm playing Call of Duty with the mouse and keyboard.
Should be sleeping. It says my only 2 moves would be mouse and keyboard to B, and then I think what Connor's about to do.
What? What do you think I'm about to do?
Move GameCube into S. Oh shit! You can only move 1 tier though.
No.
What?
No. This is willy nilly.
Oh,
all things go.
Oh.
If you want to put mouse and keyboard in fucking D tier?
No. Then I'm changing my whole opinion. I thought it was just 1 move.
SNES in the S tier.
Put the mouse and keyboard back in A tier, Connor. And put Joy-Cons right fucking next to it.
Okay. That's so dumb. That's the stupidest one.
I would rather
Joy-Con
play
next
with
to the
Joy-Cons.
360 controller is insane.
I would rather play with Joy-Cons than a PS1 controller, or PS2 controller, a Wii controller, than mouse and keyboard. The Joy-Cons are great. The Joy-Cons fuck, Connor. Okay? Pow!
Here's the situation. The SNES was way too low for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can live with GameCube in A. I cannot live with the SNES in B. Like that's
fine.
This is like a perfect simple controller. Like I really do understand. Like you add on sticks, you add on other buttons, you add on triggers. Like it gets better. Like you would think. But in my opinion, like they perfected with what they had. This is perfect. Like it's great.
I got a question for you, Connor. What's your top 4 controllers then in order?
My top 4 controllers in order are so is the GameCube 1, Xbox 1, 2, Switch Pro 3, SNES 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so
if
that's
you include
why
mouse and keyboard in that, then mouse and keyboard above all of those.
Really?
I would rather play. Yes, I love mouse and keyboard. I think it's excellent. Like it feels so good to play on.
Okay. Number 1 for me is the Xbox Series X controller. I'm not even going to include the 1. But so Xbox Series X controller, Switch Pro controller, PS5 controller is number 3 for me. And then the 360 controller.
I can live with that. Yeah.
Joy-Con, no joke. There's a tier within this tier, in my opinion, on the A tier, where it's like 360, PS4, PS5. I can all make a case for being S tier. I don't want to make that case because I think that the S tier is God tier and everything. But yeah, this is and then GameCube, mouse and keyboard, Joy-Cons for me are all in the same tier.
Why did you move the SNES over the GameCube if it's your 2? Because I think I can live with the GameCube in A. I could not live with the SNES in B.
Yeah.
This was way too low. This is I can live with this.
And the same
SNES,
way,
no, I couldn't live with
I could not live with the Joy-Cons. If Joy-Cons were in B, I would have made my Switch with mouse and keyboard dropping it down. I couldn't live with Joy-Cons being in C tier because it is not a C tier controller. It's not. It's not. It's just not. That is a ridiculous statement.
All right. We're sitting down.
Where the Wii U tablet at?
It's at the F tier, baby.
It's at the F tier. It's also right there in our on the set. Only the good die young.
Transition.
Right.
Did you give this album a listen?
Metal Gear Solid 3. Rah. Subsistence.
Do you know why there's like 2 versions of it?
You've told me before, but hit me with it again.
Like a different perspective for
Yeah.
the entire game or whatever. Like, you would probably what did you play it on? You played in the collection. So I think that has to be the subsistence version.
Halo Reach, rah, ooh rah. It's such an interesting take that Connor has with Reach and its story and campaign and everything, with it being your least favorite Halo. Because I agree that like some of the deaths in the squad, like the characters, I don't care about that much.
Shane's talking to me about like a book or something outside of. I'm playing the fucking game, dog.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these.
With that being said, I love the gameplay so much in it, and I do like the overarching story in it of doing the suicide mission. Basically,
I'm
it's
gonna
awesome.
Be honest. I don't think the missions in it are even close to 1, 2, and 3.
I think that the missions in it are better than 2 and 1. Excuse me.
It's not better than 2 at the like. The only one that I could see an argument for is 1.
2 is close. I would say it's close for me. I'm a 3 Reach 2 person.
Gotcha.
And Reach's multiplayer also is my favorite multiplayer.
Here's the biggest comp for Reach is what movie? Do you have a guess here? What I'm gonna say.
Rogue One.
The same issue that people have with Rogue One.
Yeah.
And I think the characters in Rogue One are way better than the characters. Like, these characters in Reach suck. They don't have any time to be interesting because they're just moving from story beat to story beat. They're just pawns on a board that are just meant to like make you feel something when they died. It's like, okay, like I don't know, man. I don't know. I just do not care about any of these characters at all. I don't care about the story. Like the fall of Reach, like okay. Like,
I care about the overarching story. I agree with the characters not being developed enough to care about them when certain ones pass. All right, you ready?
Yes. We have our takes and we have our drafts. And
I'm gonna hop into my hot take first.
We're doing great on timing.
Yeah, this has been perfect. Ready?
Yep.
My video game hot take is about riding the wave of the gaming industry and how we have to understand that with every low, there's a high right around the corner. And with every high, there will be an inevitable low that comes immediately after. Of course,
sometimes after.
Sometimes immediately, and then sometimes it takes a while. Of course, right now, the major conversation is Astrobot and Concord. Concord happens. It is one of the most historic failures in gaming history. It is hysterically bad at a certain point. Yes, it's the laughing stock. It's a huge joke. Everyone's talking about how bad this game is and how much it sucks, and just this game has no players. It's a huge failure, $40 price tag, all these things. And then it feels like 2 weeks later, less than a week of it getting shut down, Astrobot comes out and it has a 94 must play on Metacritic. And I'm not saying that people forgot about the Concord news, but I went after my time with Concord and I had a lot of fun playing Concord. After I reviewed it, I put it down. I picked up Astrobot. The failure happens and I was like, I don't care about Concord anymore. It's all about Astrobot, baby. We're back. And I feel like that happens all the time. Space Marine 2 right now. Everyone's just like, oh my gosh, we're so back with another team shooter game after the bad news of Helldivers and everything. The way that Nintendo's year is gone with having Zelda go right around the corner after a weaker year. There's going to be lows, and that's going to happen. That's when you dive into your backlog. But right now, we're living high off of Astro. We got Zelda right around the corner. We have a great end of the year slate with things like Silent Hill 2, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Metaphor Refantasio, Dragon Age Veilguard. Like, there's going to be bad news that comes out in the gaming industry, and that it happens all the time. And obviously, the industry is riddled with layoffs, and it's like there's bad news all the time. It's okay to ride the wave a little bit and just enjoy when the things are really good and understand, hey, we got the good times right now. Let's not forget about these times when things get bad, because the good times will come back around.
I would push back that people think that Concord is bad. I don't think anybody who played Concord thinks it's bad.
That is true. Concord is not a bad video game.
Nobody. I legitimately think if you played Concord, you will walk away from it either being like, like whatever, like it's inoffensive, like it's a competent first-person shooter, but like I'm not gonna think about this. I'm not gonna come back to it. It's fine. Or you're like, it's a little bit of fun, like me. Or you think it's good, like Nick. It has a 65 on OpenCritic. Like that sounds about right to me.
Yeah.
When it comes to the score of that. Little Sad Boy says, "Is this a hot take though?" I reckon everyone agrees with this. Have you seen the negativity around this industry? Like it feels like Sony, for when Concord was going down, everyone was like, it's over.
Yeah.
They're like, this is catastrophic. And it's like, and you can feel that way about Xbox mistakes too, like over the last decade. But the issue with Xbox is they just haven't really punched back. They've had like small wins here and there.
Hi-Fi Rush, Forza Horizon 5, even the launch of Halo Infinite. My whole thing, and the reason that it is a hot take, is it feels like everybody loses their mind on the bad, but they don't sit in the good. Like, when it's good, can we just celebrate it being awesome and really good? And then when it's bad, like if tomorrow another major studio shuts down and people get laid off and it's really, really sad, I want us to all remember being like, okay, these are people's jobs. These are their livelihoods. This is a really sad moment, but let's go and try to bolster up the industry and say, hey, we support things when things are actually good. Obviously, we've said it many times. We want Astrobot to sell because we want more games like Astrobot, and we want Team Asobi to have the creative freedom to do what they want, and we want any creator to be able to do what they want if they're creating really cool and amazing stuff in the business and works out. Let's enjoy the good, because when the bad happens, people will lose their mind again. And when the bad happens, let's try to go and sit in some positivity. It's not the end of the world. This year is a great year in gaming. And let's enjoy the greatness in this year.
People talking about this year like it sucks. It's still.
Yeah.
Even though we keep getting good games.
Last year was the greatest year in gaming history.
There's going to be a step down.
It's going to be a step down.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. But this year compared to 2021, 2019, I'll even throw out 2022. You're like, there's not a game on Elden Ring's level. I'm like, yeah, of course not. Elden Ring's one of the greatest games of all time. We haven't really had something that is that level, 10 out of 10, masterpiece, huge open world game. But the consistency of these releases and how fucking good they are across the board is insane to me. So I love this year. We're at a apex in it right now with Astrobot. A lot of people at the end of the year will have Astrobot as their game of the year. It's awesome. Let's enjoy this year. It's been amazing. Let's keep it rolling.
Remember these times when the dark days come again.
All right, Connor.
Real quick, there's a bunch of new people in chat and really appreciate you guys watching. Keva, thank you so much for the kind words. If you're new here and you want to join the community, we have 1,600 Call of 64 fans plus coming, hanging out with us, talking about video games. ! Discord, join up if you would like.
Eric says it very well. 8 out of 10 kind of year is still a great year.
Yep.
But I think that it's even better than an 8 out of 10 year.
I think most of the games that I reviewed this year are above an 8.
I'm at 20 games this year for like newly played games that I've played to putting a score on it because there's multiplayer things like Marvel Rivals and X Defiant and Foam Stars.
Yeah.
And I would say that more than a majority of those are 8 or above. And with that majority, we're talking about it being only 9 months in the year. That means once a month, I'm getting something that is great. I don't understand the people that have the wallet or the time that are like, oh, this sucks. If you're playing everything in the way that we play basically everything, there's no world where you can think it sucks. And most likely, if you're not playing everything, then you get to just pick and choose the great ones. And there's so many unbelievable games this
and
year.
We're trying to play everything, and there's still games that we can't get to that are great. I'm not playing Space Marines 2. Like, it's not going to happen.
I think that I will this year. My whole thing is I need a couple homies to hop in. Maybe I'll reach out to the Discord and be like, hey, I need someone to teach me. I need someone to make me learn.
I know that Crispy's playing it at the very least.
Okay.
I played Helldivers with him, and that was a lot of fun. So, I generally agree with your sentiment. So, not a lot of pushback here. My gaming hot take for this week is that I like Starfield. I think it's a great video game, and I think it gets too much flack. And it's for the same reasons that a lot of people don't like Starfield. The stuff that pushes people away from it is the stuff that I like about it. The going from planet to planet, fast traveling, going to the mission, just going straight there, getting your story bit, doing some combat, getting that like set piece moment, finishing out the mission, going back. That's what I'm looking for from these kind of games personally. When I'm enjoying Skyrim or enjoying Fallout, I'm enjoying the missions. I'm personally not enjoying the exploration in between it. I go from mission to mission, walk, get that moment, get your XP, level up, go to the next thing. That's what I'm looking for when it comes to these games, and I think Starfield, for me personally, is my favorite Bethesda Game Studios game. Like, when it comes to very competent shooting, very tailored set piece moments, a great main questline story, one of the best New Game Plus moments and modes in gaming history. I think this game gets way too much flack. I really do enjoy it. I'm excited for that DLC. Am I going to get to it this year? I don't know. I don't hold it in the super high regard. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a great video game, personally, for me, like specifically. But I guess the hot take is also that I think it's the best. It's my favorite Bethesda Game Studios game, and I think it should be. It deserves a little bit more respect. Like, is it Cyberpunk 2077? Go play those two back to back. It's not even close. It's not even close. But Starfield is a great video game, in my opinion. So that's how I feel about it. It feels massive. It feels like you're a part of something really big. And I like exploring that galaxy. I think that the different planets and the different cities and the different locales are really cool. The companion characters are great across the board. Very well voice acted. Very janky when it comes to the facial animations. I do not know why they insist on keeping this engine to base their games out of. Makes no sense to me. But for what it is, I had a really great time with Starfield. Was in my top 7 of last year, top 6 of last year. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
So I've only played a few hours of Starfield, and I just had to put it down because I disliked it so much. I think that the game is so bleak. It does not have any personality. The missions didn't capture me in the way that they captured you. That was a big reason that I put it down, was the good that you were having. I didn't capture any of that with the main quest. The shooting is fine. I think that the menus and the systems are seeped in PS3 and Xbox 360 years. This game feels like it's a decade old, and I really think that hopefully Bethesda Softworks really understands the sentiment of players like me, that because they got the players like you to be loving this stuff, and that's fine, but they are limiting their upside immensely when they have menus and systems from 2011.
But the issue is that people go back and play Skyrim and play Fallout 4 and they're like, this is great.
Yeah.
And I understand that like maybe it might feel dated, but like, how can something so dated as Skyrim still be beloved today in the same capacity and looked at like as if somebody were to go play Skyrim today for the first time? I still think that if they like that kind of game, they're going to love it.
Yes. But
so with that in mind, like I still think you should go to Starfield and expect something like a similar experience. And if that's the case, for the reasons that I just pointed out, that like I think at its core it has a lot of really good stuff. The stuff that people really get hung up on, the lack of exploration. That's the stuff that I don't like in these games, or I don't like the exploration in the game. So to just stripping that out and getting you to do all killer no filler, just the stuff that I'm looking for. That's why I like Starfield. So
I understand why you like this game. I just think that it is gray, dreary, uninteresting, unimportant. When I think of a mid video game, I think of Starfield. I also love this take because this is one of those times that I actually get to discuss a game that I dislike, because obviously I'm such a huge fan of video games in the medium, and I love going and bolstering and discussing it very highly, especially when we're talking about great games. I don't think Starfield's a great game. I think that Starfield is one of the lesser games on Game Pass. I think that this was a big swing and a miss. We expected Fallout 4 level of greatness, but like bolster it up a little bit.
It is bolstered up.
I'm saying
it is.
With the systems and the way that the game works.
I think the systems, like in the leveling up, is better in Starfield than it is in Fallout 4. The issue is that it's not better than Cyberpunk or like its contemporaries.
It's not better
problem.
than any of its contemporaries. And when we're talking about a game that came out in 2023, that is a fucking huge problem.
They're just doing too much in these games. They're adding like shipbuilding and like base building and stuff. It's like, dude, like just focus on making a good ass single player experience, and it doesn't need all these systems to be fun.
I agree, and I understand that a lot of people like all the systems. For me, this is one of those examples that even though the quest line didn't capture me, I wish that it was a little bit more on rails. I wish that it was a little bit more pushed forward. And now, for me, if it was straight up, if they just removed all the filler from this game, literally they didn't give me any options. They literally said, you go here and here and here. I would probably go up from like where I'm at with like, oh, this is a mid-ass game, a 5 out of 10 game, to it's okay. This game is, in my opinion, it's not offensive, it's not bad, but this is mid and okay. And that, like, when I was playing it, I was just like, I don't want to play it anymore. There's not fun. I'm not having fun playing this game.
I think shooting in that game is fun.
I
think using the jetpack is fun. I think like the moment-to-moment gameplay is a good time. I think that the story is great. I think the characters are great. I think the city design and world design is great. It's just the exploration that a lot of people get hung up on, and that doesn't even seem like what you're hung up on. But like, no. For me, that's where I'm
hung up on all of it. Yeah. Like I just think that all of it is less than, and okay. that's my big issue with it. So right. That is my hot take.
Draft time?
Against your hot take.
Draft time? Do you want to clear the table up?
Draft a clock, my friend. Yeah.
Okay, we're doing 3D platformers, everybody. I get the first pick this week. I believe so.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick the one that you want, so you're fine.
Sick.
Yeah, you're good. Is Nick using a coaster? No, this is definitely cardboard.
This is we got this off of Amazon. I bought 2 of the exact same desks to have my PC and then a TV next to it while I was streaming in college, and now we use one for my PC and then one to talk on. It's great.
Yep. I can't believe these things haven't completely broken.
It is insane.
Can you buy more of these?
Solid. I mean, it's Amazon. You got to be able to.
I don't know if they're just like
they might have discontinued. Yeah. I bought them in like 2022. So yeah, they should still be around.
And I don't know if we got to both of them. Ross B and Kevin, thank you so much for the subs.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. All right, do you want to get to? We're doing the draft. You're kicking it off then.
Oh, I'm introing it
and then sending it to me, or is that how that works?
No, you intro it.
Today, we are drafting 3D platformers because the hierarchy of power in the 3D platformer genre changed this week. But with that in mind, I'm still going to go with my first overall pick with the GOAT, Super Mario 64. I think this game is essentially immaculate. I have zero nostalgia for this game. I did not like it when I first played it because I never had an N64, then played it as an adult and was like, this is dated, old, bad. Then I played it in the 3D collection, fell in love with it. I think the platforming in this game is immaculate. There's a reason that it's speedrun the way that it still is. The way that it's so simple in design, but like the way that you can just bust this thing open and kind of go crazy with it is crazy. I love Super Mario 64. That's my first pick.
That is a 10 out of 10 game for me. I have 9 10s in all of the games I've ever played. I've given 9 10s. And Super Mario 64 is the only other platformer that I have as a 10. The other one being Astrobot. Astrobot is my first pick in this draft. Astrobot is a masterpiece. I think that while playing that game, you and I had multiple discussions just saying, we're playing an all-timer right now. Like, this is officially an all-timer platformer. It doesn't just rival the best of Nintendo, doesn't just rival the best of Mario, but it is on the same level, and sometimes it's better. Yeah. It is unbelievable what Team Asobi was able to do with Astrobot. I think that it's a worthy number one pick. If I had the number one pick, I would have still picked Super Mario 64.
Interesting.
That game, for me, honestly, the way that it is old and still feels as good as it does, and just the airiness of the jumps and the mechanics in that game are just brilliant. But if we're talking about next gen platformers or current platformers of just what is happening across the board, there's no platformer I enjoy more than Astrobot. Also, the nostalgia aspects, and it, like you said in the review, maybe the best collectibles in any video game ever. Love Astrobot, 10 out of 10 with my first pick. With my second pick, I'll go with the other, in my opinion, obvious Mario game, and I'm going to choose Odyssey. Odyssey is terrific. The way that the main story is delightful to capture the moons, great platforming mechanics. It makes you want to go and search out every single corner of every single level. That's absolutely brilliant. But then obviously, like you said, with the doors busting open of just the main core game that is Super Mario 64, after you beat the main story, the super moons, and actually going and getting everything to be awesome after the fact, and like utilizing the platforming more precisely, more difficult. That's awesome that aspect is there. Mm-hmm. You got the baby game for babies, and then let the real men play after the fact. I love Super Mario Odyssey. I think it's terrific. I genuinely think a lot of people would agree that I have 2 10s on my team. Mario Odyssey for me is just an amazing game. I have a 9 flat, but Astrobot, 10 out of 10. Super Mario Odyssey, 9 out of 10. I love my squad thus far.
Yeah. I don't feel good about going back-to-back Mario games, but I'm going to do it. With my second pick, I'm going to pick Super Mario Galaxy. I think this game is... The way that it's held up for a game that came out in 2007, I believe, just really, really special. Just the way that each level is so varied and has so much to dig into and is so fun. It's just a joyous experience. And probably the best game on the Wii, that or Super Mario Galaxy 2. But I'm just going to take Galaxy here because it's the first one. So Super Mario Galaxy 2 with my second pick. With my third pick, I'm going to go with a game that has a ton of charm, a ton of personality. It's weird. It is a weird game. We're going to go with Banjo-Kazooie. To sit next to something like Super Mario 64 and still be as good as it is very impressive to me. This is a game that I played for the first time this year or last year, and I enjoyed it, and I really appreciated it for what it was, but I know that it's just a really special game to a lot of people. That's what's putting it up at number 3 for me, personally.
With my third pick, I'm going to go with the Game of the Year nom, Psychonauts 2. This game is not discussed nearly enough. It doesn't get the love that a lot of other niche games get, but it is a terrific platformer. It has its own vibe. When you think of a design and a atmosphere like that, you think Psychonauts 2. It is super unique in level design, and it is a terrific video game. Psychonauts 2 was my third pick. With my fourth pick, I'm going to choose something that is near and dear to Connor. I'm choosing Sonic Adventure 1. This is a 3D platformer that a lot of people have a lot of love for and really enjoy. I'm not a Sonic sicko, so I don't really have a lot of memories with this game, but I understand that it's an amazing platformer, and I do want variety on my team. I want to build out my squad. I got some PlayStation, I got some Nintendo. Let's get some Sega on this motherfucker.
You should have picked
Sonic
2.
Adventure.
You should have picked 2.
1. I believe the higher rated game on Meta is 1.
No,
Let me check.
2 is the one that people fucking love, I believe. But that might just come from that one song that people
Yeah.
really like. I have 4 and 5. I'm finishing out right now.
Yep.
Crap, man, because there's so many shout outs I want to give, but I don't want to just like pick. Okay, I'm gonna do my niche garbage as my 5th pick, just as like a shout out. With my 4th pick, I'm gonna go with Sly Cooper, and some may say go with 2 because it's the best of the series, but I think Sly Cooper 1 is an immaculate video game. I prefer the level structure to the more open-ended nature of Sly Cooper 2. So I like that better. And when it comes to the actual platforming, there's a very heavy focus on platforming in Sly 1. So if we're gonna really harp on the word platformer, I think Sly 1 is the best still.
I'm just making sure that we didn't lose video. That is the one thing that I don't consider with these.
Yeah.
I mean, we can edit it in post. Okay, you got video.
Okay, good.
So you got Sly.
Yep, Sly with my 4th pick. Are we good? Do you want to just make sure and just give it a second?
Yeah. We still have, okay.
So that's, yeah. Okay. With my 5th pick, I'm going to go with a sleeper pick here, but for the people who will appreciate it, the 4 people that will appreciate it, I hope that they really appreciate it. I'm going to go with Tearaway with my 5th pick. Media Molecule, PlayStation Vita, uses the console super well. Media Molecule just has a way with Little Big Planet and Tearaway to just like capture this warmth and wonder that I think is very unique to them, that is sorely missed now. I need another Media Molecule game. Make it happen. I know that Dreams was a failure overall, but it was really cool tech, really cool idea. But Tearaway, made by a smaller team while Dreams was happening, for the ground up for the Vita, can be played on PlayStation 4 now. Really cool. Like back touch controls, like just like this magical experience. I really think people need to go reassess Tearaway. So that's my final pick.
Connor, you might need to pull the red out of your sock on this one to throw a little challenge down. Okay, just a heads up on that.
Okay,
be ready to hop in if that's necessary. But this game is a platformer. It is a 3D platformer. The core thing you're doing in this game is platforming more than anything else. Game? No.
Okay.
My final pick is Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. That game is just platforming goodness in the Star Wars world. We're coming off of Star Wars Outlaws, and I have a lot of negative feelings towards Star Wars Outlaws. Lego Star Wars would be a terrific palate cleanser of reminding how much fun just living in Star Wars can be, because it's just Lego and it's cute. But the platforming is also really, really, really fun. Everyone thinks of the Battle of Mustafar platforming when in episode 3, where you're jumping from the lava and it's super broken on the PS2. I'm taking the Skywalker Saga though, because it's good platforming and that's a better video game.
Okay.
Skywalker Saga was my last pick.
Here's the issue though. I think that the Star Wars games, the Lego Star Wars games, are more focused on hitting things than it is on platforming. That's why I picked something like Sly Cooper 1.
I understand.
Where I think it's way more
on that.
So some people asked about certain games. Like, we really wanted to harp on platforming. So then you have something like Jak 2 that might be the best in the series.
Yeah.
But that game is more about shooting things. Ratchet and Clank as well.
I'm still taking Legos with it. Yeah, because it is. There's so much emphasis on platforming. That is what you're doing. I would say 50% of the time. You are platforming and then you're hitting or shooting. Like, you only have one action button really. So like,
right.
It's platforming and then one button. So I love it. I love Lego Star Wars. Super underappreciated. It is currently a front runner for the co-op-a-thon next year of what I want to do with one of those games. Because it's just so much fun.
My 7 to 1 all got picked. Basically in order.
I went down my board for Lego Star Wars, but
my number 13 was Tearaway, and I because it was further down on other people's list, and I was like, oh fucking, I love Tearaway. So I was like,
Spyro the Dragon was on my board.
Didn't have it. That's
Crash Bandicoot Warped. If you want to, yeah. Pick your favorite sort of deal.
Yeah, right.
Serum the Goat. Ape Escape 3 was on my board.
I had Ape Escape 2.
Literally, if Serum was just in our chat right now, I would have picked it with my last one, and he wasn't.
I'm not letting that man influence me.
I had Sly Cooper 1 on my board too, which is interesting that we both had 1.
I had Jak and Daxter, the original, because I think it's more focused on platforming.
I did have the GOAT, Connor, greatest game of all time, DK64.
I had It Takes Two.
Oh yeah, that's totally a platform.
That is very focused on platforming. And then I also had SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, baby. I thought about doing that with my last pick as well. It's like I like to have some heart in my draft.
That's why Lego Star Wars was my heart. It's something you don't think about, but it is.
I probably threw the draft by doing Tearaway, but like if I can highlight that game a little bit and like get people to like check it out, that's great.
I would love to ask the question, and maybe we keep this in the edit at the end for Jay or something. Who had the better first 2 picks? Astrobot and Odyssey versus Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy. That's an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
It's
interesting because like I don't know if I gave when we did the top 50, Mario 64 was like 42 or something, 43.
Around
it was in the 40s. I know that. And like,
would you give it a 10?
No.
I
don't know.
We won't do it at this podcast. I don't know if it'll be a hot take or just a breakout or in the intro, but I would love to sit down with you and literally just not just go through the top 50, but also bring up things like Tetris and Balatro and things that could be 10s and figure out how many fucking 10s you have.
Yeah,
because I have such a finite number and mine can change. Like there's 2 there 10s that I have that like I've gone back and forth for. The first one that I think of, and I'm literally pulling it up right now, is Uncharted 4. I think about Uncharted 4. I'm like, is that a 10? I don't know. Pretty often.
Here's my issue though, and this is my big hang up on it. Playing something in the moment, like being top of mind, reviewing it, giving it a few days, like we did with Astrobot, and then coming to that conclusion of a 10 is such a different experience than you being like, talk about Uncharted 4 that came out in 2016 that I played when I was in college, when I was about to move out. Laura came up to visit me in Connecticut when I was going to college there, and we just sat on the couch for a week, and she watched me play it because she was excited about it too. So like that is a complete, like I don't know how to even talk about that when it comes to like a somewhat objective score. Like that's just a weird situation. Like I don't know. I don't like going back to like talk. Like I would need to play Uncharted 4 right now, finish the game, give it a little bit of time, and then give a review on it.
I think the big part of why for a lot of these games I have as a 10, the only ones that I've not played multiple times, there's only 3, and that's God of War, Elden Ring, and Astrobot are the only ones that I've not beaten multiple times.
Yeah.
So I've gone through every other experience. Oh, The Last of Us 2, I never beat a second time. I played it like halfway through it, and I was like, yep, this is a masterpiece, and then I went and picked up other stuff. But The Last of Us 1, I've been hundreds of times. Rock Band, thousands of hours in that game. It almost feels like Uncharted 4 multiple times. Mario 64. I've only beat Mario 64 once. I've played it many times, but I've only beaten it once. And then Portal 2 beaten many times. So it's such an interesting conversation where I feel like obviously I discuss all the time. Yes, I have given multiple 9.5s this year. Just a reminder to everyone, I'm like really diving into the GOAT. I want to be able to talk about a lot of the greatest games ever. So I'm not sitting around and playing things like Pikmin or Killzone because Connor's already played a lot of the games I'm already playing. And so there's a lot of discussion.
So bad.
But that's a big portion of why I'm rating a lot of things highly right now, because I'm legitimately playing the GOATs.
By the way, speaking of GOATs, I did I text this to you guys yesterday? I would like to update the list once a year.
Yeah, like do a video and
do multiple scripted.
Oh shit! Okay.
50 greatest games of all time, and now at number 12, slotting onto the list, we have Cyberpunk 2077.
So things are just gonna get bounced.
Yep.
Oh damn.
Things will be pushed off the bottom of the list.
Yeah.
If something enters the list, at 45, I'll throw it at 45, but I'll reassess it every.
So I just want to throw it out there, little game to close out the podcast. Thank you all for sticking with us. We're gonna close it out after this. Games that could knock things off. Let me just go real fast. There's 4 that come to mind. Alan Wake 2.
Yes, that will be in the top 50.
Tears of the Kingdom.
No.
Oh, it wasn't originally because we started shooting after that. That's it. That's interesting. FF7 Rebirth is in the top 50.
Yeah. It's low though, I would say.
What do you think's a better game, FF9 or Rebirth?
I think FF9 is a better game.
Okay.
But I prefer, like, from like a purely like emotional standpoint, Rebirth.
Astrobot would be on there.
Yeah. I think that would be dangerously close to the top 10, if not in the top 10.
And then last one, Balatro.
You see, like the thing is with Balatro is that like it's almost too, it's very complex, but also very simple in nature, similar to like that of a Tetris, that like you almost need to give it time to like really see like how it's going to develop in history. You know what I mean? Like Tetris, when you play Tetris, the first time you played Tetris, do you think people were sitting there being like, oh, this is like the greatest game ever, one of the greatest games ever made? You think people were sitting there in 1985 being like, oh, they were just having fun? And I play Balatro and I'm just like, this is an immaculate video game. I'm just having fun. But I feel like it almost, since it's so simple, it needs more time to really like dig into it.
My thing with Balatro is because the industry is so saturated, like we just get a ton of video games compared to when Tetris came out. It's so easy to hop onto the next thing. And obviously the mindset of why Balatro could be one of the greatest games ever, I do understand it having the longevity, but I'm also a firm believer when you know, you know. And with Balatro, you've said it multiple times, it might be a 10. That means that it's at least a 9.5. Like, it's an amazing video game. It's an immaculate video game. It's really funny. You have it as a 10 because you just love every system and seeing big number go up and everything.
Balatro?
Yeah. Oh, do you know where I have Balatro scored for this year?
An 8 or something?
8.5.
That's crazy.
I think it's a great fucking video game, but I don't.
What hole do you poke in it?
It's not what the product is overall. I don't think is an amazing product.
I don't think you've dug into it enough.
I played like 10 hours.
Okay.
Like that is a large enough sample size with the core mechanics of that game to understand everything, and my enjoyment of it is not. It gives me a great feeling. It doesn't feel as good as clearing a line in Tetris or going and getting an Astrobot. Like that overarching feeling of the number going up doesn't hit my core of my heart as much as those other feelings in gaming. So it's an amazing game it's a great game to me in A5.
Cyberpunk 2077 would be on the list as well.
Oh yeah.
At this point.
What top 10?
It's close.
Because I know that that's a big...
I think about that game all the time. Yeah. I literally think about booting... I thought about booting it up last night.
Best indie of the year. We're both on the Balatro wave.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Animal Well is up there for sure. What else would be up there?
We've not played a ton of indies this year.
Yeah, well,
Plug Spire and Neva is down the line this year.
Yeah. Excited for those, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited
how
for
long do you
Neva.
think Plucky Squire is? Do we have any information on that?
I can look it up if you want to close out the pod.
I would assume it's like, I hope it's like 10 hours. That would be perfect. That would be like exactly what I'm looking for that kind of game.
I want it to be, I would prefer it to be 7 to 9 hours and get beat in around 7. It's not up on how long to beat because of course it's not on how long to beat.
It would need to be like in an interview or something.
I know, that's why there's not a clear answer off the rip. That's so fine. I don't think that there is an answer.
All right, let's close this bad boy out then.
Yes.
This was your casual gaming conversation for this week, and they post every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Twitch streams Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 Eastern Standard Time, but we also have bonus streams this weekend. Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, full playthrough with Nick for that. Discord link, exclamation point Discord if you're watching on stream right now, but for the link, it is in the bio of our TikTok page for Discord and merch. Leave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts if you'd like. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. We appreciate you. Peace out.